Good afternoon. I have made the adjustment from good morning, and I'm fully aware that it is afternoon this time. It looks like I'm in the mood to take this. I was like, I need a mic stand, and I'm like, guess I don't. I'm not in the mood for one right now. When Nina gets here, mic stand back up. But this is a whole group situation. First of all, my name is Reverend Casey Taylor. I use they, them pronouns. I am leading music today. Next week, Addison will be here, and the week after that, I'll be back to close us off for music, and then we will kick off our 70th anniversary celebration happening on May 31st. So that's what's happening for the rest of the month of May. And last week, I introduced this song to y'all. I'm gonna click some buttons. Can you click some buttons to get there? Click some buttons to remind y'all what the lyrics are. But this is the song that it is the prayer that the Dalai Lama speaks when he wakes up. And somebody was like, let's put some music behind that and make it a thing. And so because of that, because these are some children singing the songs, we can play this on YouTube and sing along with it. So I'm going to invite you to sing along to our daily prayer. And I invite you to, part of the invitation of learning this song is to inspire you when you wake up in the morning to have these lyrics kind of running through your head. And it helps teach you how to think that you are fortunate when you have woken up every morning. So we're going to sing this together. I'm going to invite you to sing it together. Y'all are going to do y'all. Here we go.
Every day, think as you wake up. Today, I am fortunate to have woken up. I am alive. I have a precious human life. And I'm not amazed.
One day we'll have somebody with ukulele.
Oh, that would be great.
Vision, seed planted.
Maybe I'll try to learn it.
Yes. That'd be amazing. All right, y'all ready? Here we go. Every day, think as you wake up. Today I am fortunate to have woken up. I am alive. I have a precious human life. And I'm not gonna waste it. Every day, think as you wake up. Today I am fortunate to have woken up. I am alive. I have a precious human life. And I'm not gonna waste it. Every day, think as you wake up. Today I am fortunate to have woken up. I am alive. I have a precious human life. And I'm not gonna waste it. Dance break. Wavy dance break. Yeah, y'all get the hint. Yes, Mary Lee. Every day, think as you wake up. Today I am fortunate to have woken up. I am alive. I have a precious human life. And I'm not gonna waste it. Every day, think as you wake up. Today I am fortunate to have woken up. I am alive. I have a precious human life, and I'm not gonna waste it. Every day, think as you wake up. Today I am fortunate to have woken up. I am alive. I have a precious human life, and I'm not gonna waste it.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much, Casey. All right. Well, welcome to Spiritually Uncuffed, United Life Centers for Spiritual Living. My name is Tasha Salinas, and I'm happy to be delivering the talk today and also just facilitating the entire experience. So welcome, and we will be here until 2 o'clock. So have fun. First of all, if I can get my clickety-clicks to click, I'd like to say Happy Mother's Day to all who are mothers, all who have been mothered, all who have love in their heart, and who mother themselves. To everyone, Happy Mother's Day. We love you, and we wish that you were here with us. All right, today's theme is Boundary Keepers Nurturing Healthy Connections. So we went through our song, our intro song, Precious Human Life. Thank you, Rev. Casey. And we're going to go through our session flow really quickly. If you've been here with me, you know I like to illustrate what we're going through because I like to know where we're headed, so I'd like to let you know where we're headed. So we have every Sunday a sound bath at 12:30. If you weren't able to catch it online or here in person, just know it's outside of our service, but just before, and there's a little break in the in-between. We do that to help you kind of get your energy settled and just really arrive and slide into this experience open for what your soul has for you in that moment. So that's what we do at 12:30. Then we have our opening and welcome, our vision and mission, and we're going to talk about our themes for the month and our themes for today. Then we have a wonderful prayer and meditation from Miss Sue Ellen. What's your last name? Miller. Sue Ellen Miller. Glad to hear from her. Special music, main talk, I'll be doing that, conscious giving, announcements, and our closing song. So we like to follow a little bit of structure, but then obviously let Spirit flow the way the Spirit loves to flow. So that's our intention, but we'll see how the day kind of rounds itself out. All right, so if you can take this in, this is our vision and mission statement. I like to say this is who we are, this is what we do, and how we do it. And I'm just going to read it. You're invited to read it with me just to kind of affirm what we're doing here, affirm our intentions for being here.
That is so cool. I am so sorry. I was like, who we are, what we do, and how we do it. That's brilliant.
You love that?
Yes.
So who are we then?
We are a loving, inclusive community, joyfully expressing spirit. We honor, celebrate, and support each individual's awakening to their spiritual magnificence. We empower each other to create happy, healthy, abundant lives.
I do love that because as someone who's not on staff, I'm not hired to do any of the things that I do. I came in and was offered, because of who I am and because of me, the opportunity to do what I'm doing. The way that Spirit expresses itself through me is through the way that I talk. And as a former pastor in the Christian church, and my spirituality has grown into what it is now, separate of the Christian church, this spiritual playground to where I can create and help others to live happy, abundant lives, I'm happy. Happy is a large, and on Mother's Day, and I'm a mom. Like, does it get any better than this? And there's a rose for me over there. Anyway, love this. I love that we get to do it together. We're a family, and we're growing. So just know that you're welcome, and this is what we do, who we are, and how we do it. But either way, it is as it is. All right, so our theme this month, for the month of May, is Raise Your Voice, which I think that's kind of funny, because growing up, my mom always said, Tasha Renee, your mouth is going to get you in trouble one day. And I'm like, but. And it always did, because I was always talking back, I was always pushing boundaries, I was always highlighting what wasn't fair, what didn't feel right, and now look, Mama, I made it. I made it. I'm still making trouble. Just kidding. My mom's proud of what I do, but I'm very happy to have been synchronistically offered the month to raise your voice, because that's what she does, and she does it well, right? So today our theme, if I can get myself out of the way, is Boundary Keepers Nurturing Healthy Connections. That's going to be what the talk is about. And so we're going to get there here in a little bit, but we're talking about boundary keepers. We are those who hold the boundary that keeps us healthy, safe, and able to have those nurturing connections. So looking forward to that, but first I would like to invite up Sue Ellen, or Reverend Dr. Sue Ellen Miller. I don't want to offer any kind of disrespect, but I didn't want to ruin it either. So Reverend Dr. Sue Ellen Miller, thank you so much.
Thank you. The material today, and for today, came with a reading from Brene Brown, Braving the Wilderness. Pages 69 and 70, if you're going to go right out and get that book. There are always boundaries, even in the wilderness. When we commit to getting closer, we're committing to eventually experiencing real face-to-face conflict. Whether it's over dinner, at work, in the grocery line, in-person conflict is always hard and uncomfortable. And when it comes to family, it's even harder and more painful. If your family is anything like mine, you've been required to summon love and decency in the face of emotions that range from minor frustration to rage. Maintaining the courage to stand alone when necessary in the midst of family or community or angry strangers feels like an untamed wilderness. When I get to the point where I'm like, screw this, it's just too hard, I'm too lost, I hear Maya Angelou's words again, the price is high, the reward is great. But here's the question that came up for me during this research. Where is the line? Is there a line in the wilderness between what behavior is tolerable and what isn't? The reward may be great, but do I have to put up with someone tearing me down or questioning my actual right to exist? Is there a line that shouldn't be crossed? And the answer is yes. Participants who put true belonging into practice talked openly about their boundaries. In fact, this research confirmed what I found in my earlier work. The clearer and more respected the boundaries, the higher the level of empathy and compassion for others. Fewer clear boundaries, less openness. It's hard to stay kind-hearted when you feel people are taking advantage of you or threatening you. The key with boundaries, in my opinion, is you gotta talk about them. You can't set them in your head and then just assume that everybody else is gonna figure out what those boundaries are, because they don't.
That's true.
They have in their head a boundary that's different from yours. And it might be closer, and it might be farther away, it might have something to do with something totally different. Their idea of fair in the instant could be different than yours. As you're talking about talking back to your mother, it's not fair, my mother would say, a fair is a place you show pigs. So I raised my kids with that. From the time they were, it's not fair. Fair is a place you show pigs. They hated it. But they each used it with their children. Some gets words. We're never promised fair. We get to set our boundaries. We get to choose. We are the CEO of our lives. Yes, we're all connected. And yet, we are all one in this place. I want to try a brief meditation here this morning. So I'm going to ask you to get comfortable. And if you feel like closing your eyes, please do so. And imagine for a moment that you're in a gazebo. It's a safe place for you. And it's absolutely beautiful. Nobody can come into your gazebo unless you allow them to. There's flowers, benches, chairs, whatever you want in your gazebo. Walls if you want walls. Glass walls if you want to see outside. It's a safe place. And in this gazebo, you feel connected. You feel connected to everything, spirit, to God, whatever it is. Now from your safe place, I want you to just push your gazebo walls out a little bit farther than they are already, making your gazebo bigger. There's more flowers. There's more room in the gazebo. And you can invite someone to come and be with you in the gazebo if you choose. But it's your gazebo. It's yours. And you are in control. Now take another deep breath and push those boundaries of that gazebo out even farther. Now it's bigger. A huge gazebo. Still beautiful. Still the energy and the love that fill this gazebo with you in it is there, nurturing you, surrounding you, holding you, loving you. It is yours. Again, you can invite more people to come in, and you're in control. And if you need them to leave, you can invite them to leave. And they have to obey. It's your gazebo. That connection to God that's in this gazebo works when we're in a tiny gazebo. And it works when that gazebo is the whole wide world. That connection that is God supporting us is right here, right now, filling us with love, with energy, with strength, with hope, with peace, with joy, with happiness. All of those things that we choose. And we choose in this moment to be connected to that one source and then to each other. On this Mother's Day, on every Mother's Day, on every other day, we choose. And so in this place of power, in this gazebo of love and joy and energy that is God, we choose. We choose to stay connected. We choose to be in the divine flow. We choose to set those boundaries naturally and expand them naturally when the time is right. And so with gratitude in my heart, I say, thank you, God, for this wonderful gazebo called life that is the world that we live in. And so I release this prayer that sort of looks like a prayer, but kind of looks like a dream, into the law that says yes to my word. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you so much, Reverend Dr. Sue Mellon. I am elated. I fell into that meditation. That gazebo, the gazebo that came to my mind is on Reverend Dr. Sue Ellen Street. And we took a selfie together in front of that gazebo at the leadership retreat on the first day of spring. And I sang this song at that leadership retreat, just like at random, and everybody just sang it with me, because that's what it is. So this is our meditative song for the Sundays in May that me and Nina are here. And this song is a bit of a round. I realize I forgot to tell y'all about your drums for Precious Human Life. So next time y'all hear Precious Human Life, know that's a song you can drum to if you've got your drums. And we've got some extra drums back there. So if you want to grab a drum and play it, sing along with the round, pick up whatever part you want to pick up, and just let it roll as you see the world as your gazebo and however it is that you want to build it, and to recognize that this song really grounds you in that truth, that reality. All right, this is something we all sing together. So got the words up in front of you. Obviously, they're not hard. And I invite you to sing them along with us. I am remembering who I am. 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 I All right. Thanks, Nina. I appreciate you coming up with me. So before we get into Tasha's talk, I had intended, as we're talking about the drums, my plan was to sing this song that is great with drums, and I couldn't find a track that really worked for it on a Sunday. And so on Thursday, I texted Tasha, and I was like, hey, do you think I can do this Tupac song on Sunday? And Tasha was like, yes, absolutely.
Yes, I can.
Yep, that is what Tasha said. So
Oh yeah.
that's what's been going on. And I was telling Elle was like, who are you singing with this Sunday? And I was like, Nina. And she's like, you got Nina doing Tupac? And I was like, Nina did Salt and Pepper with me before. Like, come on now. And I was like, no, and so because I just had this thought on a Thursday, I really dove into this song. And for me, the third verse is the verse I identify with most. Me and Tupac had very different childhoods, and I am incredibly grateful that when this song was released when I was 12, just like Hero, something's going on with being 12, especially because I'm turning 44 on Tuesday. Something's going on with 12 and
That's
this
some
music.
good numbers.
Right? And so, this song, having an opportunity to listen to it with my full 44 almost ears, in comparison to the 12-year-old version of it that I had going in my mind from before, was really nice. Just have an opportunity to both just celebrate the fact that in this community, I know that singing a Tupac song is celebrated and honored, and it's just like there's no other Center for Spiritual Living that's probably ever done this song before. So we are blazing a trail here in Oklahoma City, and Oklahoma City is the last place anybody expects Tupac on a Sunday morning at a CSL. So skirt. The amount of trailblazing we're doing here is next level. So let me get into it. And if y'all know any of this, feel free to jump in at any given point, but this is what we're gonna do. Make sure I'm still connected. We'll see what happens. It could be. It has a little slow start. Yeah, it does. And I appreciate this track giving me some time to get into it. When I was young, me and my mama had beef, 17 years old, kicked out on the streets. Though back at the time, I never thought I'd see her face. Ain't a woman alive that could take my mama's place. Suspended from school, I'm scared to go home. I was a fool with the big boys breaking all the rules.
There you go.
Shed tears with my baby sister. Over the years, we was poorer than other little kids. And even though we had different daddies, the same drama, when things went wrong, we blame mama. I reminisce on the stress I caused. It was hell, hugging on my mama from a jail cell. And who thinking elementary? Hey, I see the penitentiary one day. Running from the police, that's right. Mama catch me, put a whooping to my backside. And even as a crack fiend, mama, you always was a black queen, mama. I finally understand for a woman it ain't easy trying to raise a man. You was always committed, a poor single mother on welfare. Tell me how you did it. There's no way I can pay you back, but the plan is to show you that I understand. You are appreciated.
Don't you know we love you, sweet
Dear mama,
everybody, mama, it's no one of us.
you are appreciated. Now ain't nobody tell me it was fair. No love from my daddy cause the power wasn't there. You passed away and I didn't care. Cause my anger wouldn't let me feel for a stranger. They say I'm wrong and I'm heartless, but all along I was looking for a father, he was gone. I hung around with the thugs, and even though they sold drugs, they showed a young brother love. I moved out and started really hanging. I needed money of my own, so I started slanging. I ain't guilty cause even though I sell rocks, it feels good putting money in your mailbox. I love paying rent when the rent's due. I hope you got the diamond necklace that I sent to you. Cause when I was low, you was there for me. You never left me alone cause you cared for me. And I can see you coming home after work late. You in the kitchen trying to fix us a hot plate. You just working with the scraps that you was given. And mama made miracles every Thanksgiving. But now the road got rough, you're alone. You're trying to raise 2 bad kids on your own, and there's no way I can pay you back. But my plan is to show you that I understand. You are appreciated. And dear mama, you are appreciated. Time and time again, reminisce, cause through the drama, I can always depend on my mama. And when it seems that I'm hopeless, you can say the words to get me back in focus. When I was sick, as a little kid, to keep me happy, there's no limit to the things you did. And all my childhood memories are full of all the sweet things that you did for me. And even though I act crazy, I gotta thank the Lord that you made me. There are no words that can express how I feel. You never kept a secret, always stayed real. And I appreciate how you raised me and all the extra love that you gave me. I wish I could take the pain away. If you could make it through the night, there's a brighter day. Everything will be alright if you hold on. It's a struggle every day, gotta roll on. And there's no way I can pay you back. But my plan is to make sure you understand you are appreciated. Dear mama, dear mama, lady, dear mama.
Mother's Day. I'm so happy that we have this opportunity. Thank you so much. Now listen, there's a big white screen right there because I pulled up the picture of us at the gazebo, but it didn't upload. So I did that really quickly on my phone, and it didn't work.
You tried.
I tried.
Props.
I gave it the old college try. So. I'm so excited about this portion. This is the talk. And I watched myself last week, and I was so excited that I went a little fast. So if I need to slow down, tell your girl to slow down, because when I get excited, I like to talk. And when I get to talking, I like to talk more. So if I'm going too fast, just slow me down. I'll do the best I can. But first of all, I want to welcome you once again, and I want to remind you that when Tasha's speaking, it's always going to mostly center around these 3 tenets. Know yourself, trust yourself, and express yourself. Sometimes we overcomplicate our spirituality. As someone who came from the Christian church and I learned a lot of doctrine and I loved it, it taught me how to now be free in the way that I think. But every now and then when I become a little ungrounded, I go back to which one of these three things am I kind of struggling with at this moment. So again, we're going to talk through boundary keepers, nurturing healthy connection through the lens of know yourself, trust yourself, and express yourself. Okay? I got us on this journey, don't worry. We're in for a ride. So first of all, we're going to talk about the role of sacred boundaries. And while I'm pulling it inside, we're going to talk about mental boundaries. And you got to think about it. Well, you are what you think, right? If your mind is kind of full of junk, that's going to be kind of what comes out. And you're going to have all this like wayward grayness. And so what we're looking at is we're looking at the sacred role of mental boundaries. Our goal isn't to close our minds. It's to know ourselves so deeply that our mind becomes impenetrable. I can't say that word with my retainer in. But essentially, we are 100% open in our mind. So how do we talk about boundaries with openness? What does that look like? Is it even possible to be 100% open at the top, but still have boundaries. I will say, speaking about, being fair, like life is not fair. My kids are in the room, so all three of my kiddos are here, but my son, he's 17, when he was, what was that, first grade? Kindergarten. His teacher, she was wonderful, but she used to always say, life is not fair, but it's full of opportunities. Because she had a whole classroom of little 6 or 7-year-olds that were running around, it's not fair. And so of course I picked that up. And I was like, yeah, you're right, Isaiah. Life is not fair. But, and then here goes his eye rolls. But it's full of opportunity. You're right, life is not fair. And there are moments where we do have to have boundaries. So looking at fairness and life and how do we go through that, we're looking at knowing ourselves. Our goal, again, isn't to close our minds off with boundaries. When we were talking about this gazebo, I like to think of boundaries, like I said last week, as walls, right? Walls that we erect. So we can have a brick wall of a boundary, we can have kind of a white picket fence of a boundary, or we can have no boundaries at all. So that brick wall, if we go back to that imagery of our gazebo, imagine yourself protecting yourself in a fortress of brick walls. I mean, you're going to protect yourself, but at what cost? What are you keeping in or out or whatever? Like, is that the ideal? There's times for that. We're going to get there. But then now we're looking at our white picket fence. That's a boundary that you also erect, but that one's a little more attractive. That one's a little more palatable to yourself because you can see beyond it. It's there, but air can kind of flow through it. You can even communicate through a white picket fence type of boundary, and generally there's that gate on there. You can open it up. You can let people come in, and actually, if you want, someone can even jump that boundary. Like, there's just a little more freedom there. Like, we're kind of playing with a little bit of training wheels of having boundaries versus not having boundaries. But then now we get to the place where we're 100% open, no boundaries whatsoever. Well, when we are intentional, there are times when we have no boundaries, and that's okay because we trust ourselves. And we trust there's nothing to be bounded against. But before we have the responsibility and can actually wield the scepter of that type of responsibility, we have to know who we are. And we're getting back down to point 1. So when we first arrive to knowing who we are, we may not actually have any mental boundaries. It is just like everything's coming in, we're groundless, we're just all over the place. So we get to pause. We get to pause and see until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Why does this stuff keep happening to me? This world is crap. My mom this, my kids that, my spouse this, my money, whatever, right? We're just letting everything come in and out. We just want to pause. When we're on the journey of knowing ourselves and knowing who Spirit is and how Spirit works through us, the sacred responsibility we have is to identify what's going on up there. And I'm talking about our mind. What thoughts are we thinking? We get to actually go on a diet, a mental diet. We see what are we taking in? What's already in there? What has taken up residence in our mind? And what needs to go? We get to be very, very scrutinizing with making our unconscious thoughts conscious. And in order to do that, I'm going to advise erecting a brick wall of a boundary. And a brick wall, we can have a door with that as well. A brick wall, though, is we have to be extremely clear about what we allow in and what we allow out. So the idea of a mental boundary is you get to choose what thoughts stay and what thoughts are excused. So when you think about what kind of thoughts, well, I am this, I am that. Well, I don't want to make them mad. And you start putting everybody else's well-being over your own. In my opinion, in my experience, that's when a firm mental boundary is necessary. Because if I'm more concerned about anybody or anything outside of myself, then I'm losing oxygen, I'm losing energy, I'm losing power. And we're talking about nurturing healthy connections, I've got to have that connection with myself first. So when I think about mental boundaries, I think about mental diet. What am I taking in? What's as within, so without? What I am, what I eat. Am I feasting on the media? Am I feasting on fear of the unknown? Am I feasting on the temptation to have issue with everybody around me? Like, what's going on? Am I victimizing myself? In my efforts to charge ahead with whatever I think I'm passionate about, am I pushing others out of the way? We gotta kind of pause and see what's going on. Know yourself. Are you able to slow down and know who you are? And by that I mean know what thoughts are on repeat in your mind. And until you can stop other things from coming in and kind of see what you got going on here, you can't move forward. You can't know something. You can't express something that you don't tangibly have an identity about. So in doing so, in erecting this firm mental boundary initially, we get to build our self-concept. We get to know who we are and know what isn't us. It doesn't serve us to continually complain about our life if we want a healthy connection. I can't hope to have a healthy connection with my friend or my loved one if I don't have one with myself. I can't give from an empty cup. Or if the cup is filled with toxicity, what am I giving? So this is why we talk about mental boundaries. That's why I like to orient anything in my life. Well, first of all, what am I doing to contribute? So looking at our mental boundaries, knowing yourself, the mental boundary as our sacred space. And when you create that sacred space, you do make space for exploration. I got my notes here. Exploration, you're free. You can be creative, you can be curious, all these things. This initial boundary is almost like guardrails on a bridge. I don't know about y'all, but when I'm on the bridge, the really high up ones, and they're like way longer than they need to be, I get a little nervous because I don't want to get too close to those edges, like the guardrail or the walls, but yet I know that they're keeping me safe. But can you imagine being on a big bridge like that with no boundaries, no guardrails, no nothing? And you're that high up over the water, because of course there's water, because I want to make it super scary, and there's probably sharks underneath the water, in the water too. But can you imagine still like driving? And it's probably a highway, so we're all going together 75 miles an hour with no boundaries. No, there's no safety there. There's a reason we have boundaries. Now bringing it back to our mind, there's a reason we have boundaries. Because our soul, our inner child, there's a sense of safety that we as humans have a responsibility to our soul. And that's that integration point. Everything I say, know, trust, and express, is about the integration of the spirit, of the divine and the human. And so until we allow ourselves to really know ourselves and allow our minds to find the dark corners that we think we're afraid of, until we allow the unconscious to be made conscious, it will direct our life and we will call it fate. That's okay, that's one way to live. But we're headed somewhere, aren't we? That bridge has got to go somewhere. And where we go to next is we go to trusting ourselves. I told you, know, trust, express, right? Super simple. Trusting yourself, open mind, sovereign heart. So this is kind of, we're transitioning to more of like maybe a white picket fence, okay? So we know ourselves. We know, we've seen the things that we've been taking in. We see where we have been part of this toxic, unhealthy connection in life. And so we're starting to feel a little more secure in who we are. Right? Okay, I got everything cleaned up, and now I get to trust myself. And this is the key. What's the key to inner peace, to enlightenment, embodiment? It's trust. It's self-trust. You have free will. Thank goodness you have free will to make a choice. And once you make a choice, what turns it, what is the key, is that self-trust. So then now you're like, okay, I can loosen up a little bit more. I can be a little more open to other things that are going on because I know who I am. So if I interact with somebody and it's not good and I feel like we need to have a little bit of space, I'm secure in who I am, and I'm going to jump ahead to the end, that boundary naturally erects itself. And I just communicate openly from that place of self-sovereignty. But self-trust, you have to get to the point where you trust yourself. Trust your thoughts. Trust them when they feel right and when they feel good. Because everybody wants to hyper-spiritualize living, and that's great. We can feel good all day long, but if it's out of alignment with what we know to be true about ourselves, then we're out of balance. So you know what I know about myself? I know that I'm divine. I know it, and I get to trust that. So when my significant other says something and I get moved out of my center, I'm like, hold on, let me come back into that place of self-trust. And knowing that I'm divine and knowing that I'm worthy also lets me know that I'm worthy to be treated with the respect I deserve as a divine being. Do you see this? And I have to convince myself, I have to reiterate the fact of the matter to myself that I am divine, that I'm here for a purpose, that I'm here to actually love and have these nurturing connections with others. But just like spirit and just like love would do, I get to understand that that's who I am first. And from that place of sovereignty, that's where that trust is effortless. Knowing and trusting that I was never meant to only be logical. If I was meant to only be logical, then I would only have the logical portion of my brain. It wouldn't exist in tandem with the intuitive portion of my brain. And together, that intuitive and that logic together really brings out my wisdom. The wisdom and that connection to the higher mind. We are actually the intersection of God and human. And what makes it real, what makes it palatable and experienced is your heart, is you. Knowing that you get to choose your thoughts and you can allow your emotions to follow suit. I trust myself. I know that I'm making the right decision. No, I don't really care about the news right now. Thank you for asking. I'm happy we have a pope from the U.S., and I pray and believe it's going to go well. But also, I'm disinterested in all those conversations about it right now. Let me allow the dust to settle out there while I allow the dust to remain settled in here. Do you see what trust sounds like? Can you feel what trust feels like? Self-trust. That's what it is. That's where that sovereignty comes from. Through trusting what feels right and good, we consciously rewrite the unconscious, allowing for effortless alignment. Alignment of our thoughts and of our emotions, of our thinking and our feelings, of our logic and our intuition. Y'all know this, I do this every week. It's our thinking, our feeling, our logic, masculine type of energy expression, and our intuitive, more spiritual, like emotional, feminine receptivity. As all of that comes into balance, you just effortlessly express from that place of sovereignty. You effortlessly understand and live the embodiment that love is not logical. It never was meant to be logical. Thank God for the science of mind, right? The church of religious science. I didn't know what that meant, but suddenly it's making sense now. It's a little bit of logic and a whole lot of intuitions put together called humans. Oh, that's wonderful. And it's so free. It's not dogma. It's not, a prescriptive way to live. It's knowing who I am and knowing that sometimes the way that I actually, every single time, no matter what, the way that I express is going to be different in every single person. And that's where that sovereignty, that self-trust comes in. So what does this have to do with boundaries? Well, when you're in that space, my friend, boundaries don't even matter. They don't. And I know I said this last week, and I'm going to say it next week, and I'm going to say it the following week until they tell me I can't talk anymore. But it does become effortless. I promise you. I promise you. If you know me, the way I walk in the room, sometimes I just walk in like I own the place, which I don't. But I own this place. And people don't mess with me anymore. Please don't start trying to mess with me. But people don't mess with me anymore. Because when you know you're coming up to someone and they really know who they are, and you've seen them articulate themselves and their boundaries, even if they seem silly, you're like, I'm not going to mess with them. And then you inherently have naturally healthy, open, vibrant relationships. And when something has to be said, you say it. But it's not from a place of that yucky feeling. It's not a place where I got to tear them down to make sure they know who I am. We're not here for that. You know who you are because you only live your own experience. And sovereign expression comes naturally as the inner world continually aligns. It's a continual thing. The infinity symbol, I should have put it on the screen. I'll have one next week for you. There'll probably be one on every screen because I love the infinity symbol. Well, I'll do it this way. The infinity symbol, it is what illustrates who we are. And it's continual because there are times that we're going to be on the downward spiral. Because we're human. But that's when we go back to knowing ourselves. Actually, hold on. This is a hard situation, but I know who I am. As I take in the information around me with my relationship or whatever it is, and I feel like I want to put up a boundary, it's important for me to know that I'm not erecting a brick wall as a barricade. But we're in continual process, so then we breathe, we recenter, and we remember who we are. And from that place, we can actually speak up and say whatever we need to say. It's not a boundary at that point, it's just an expression of who you are. To where you may not have to erect a boundary. Or, on the other side of it, you have someone you love so very much. And you just love them because you are loved, and you want to pour yourself out for them, and you do it, and you do it, and you do it, but then you start to feel a little depleted. So I'm not going to look at this right now. I want to go a little rogue, because we've got time, I'm watching the clock. But I don't know if you know, but emotion in Latin is immovere, let's see if I can say it right, immovere, which means energy in motion. Emotion, okay, our infinity symbol. So how do you know if you're getting out of alignment? If you feel like crap, to say it bluntly, right? If you don't feel, if you're not having feelings of love, joy, patience, peace, kindness, gentleness, even with yourself, most certainly with yourself. If you're not feeling that, then you are out of alignment, and we come back to center. And you say, hold on, there are some emotions that are running through me, because emotions are energy in motion. And as we allow ourselves to see those darker emotions, perhaps shame, we sit with them. We love them. We be with them. And then from our place of openness, we allow them to go. So we go from having no boundaries whatsoever and all hell's broken loose in our life to having that mental diet, maybe erecting a brick wall or two just for a season, just to kind of know what you have on your plate, so to speak, in your mind. And then we start to open up a little bit. Our gazebo gets a little bit bigger. The walls of the gazebo are now maybe a white picket fence with a couple of doors or whatever. And then as we keep breathing and we exhale, we understand that maybe the doors have been blown off by design to teach you that you are the one who gets to answer your prayers of peace, of knowing who you are, of knowing that you are the embodiment of a healthy connection. So anybody who comes into your sphere gets to take part in that healthy connection, and suddenly you are a leader in your life, in your community, in your family. You're saying things and you're like, I don't know how I knew that, I just knew that, because you are tapped in. And in this spiritual playground, that's what we get to do. We get to just have fun and not fight about my fun looking different than your fun. God, it's not that hard to be free, okay? Let me just say it. Let me just be cute and say, you're living life from the inside out. Okay? From the top down, from being open at the top. And I think that's super cute because, once again, I'm going to say it until forever, until I know everything about Ernest Holmes and Science of Mind. But they talk about, we here talk about being open at the top. And I was like, well, all your brains are going to fall out. No, open at the top to knowing that maybe logic isn't always the way. That maybe sometimes you have to just move from the inside, knowing that you are actually perfectly safe to erect a boundary if necessary, or to release one if necessary. And it makes me excited, because expressing yourself is actually the fun part. That's when you just get to walk in and just trust and know that whatever happens, you are safe. Tasha, why are you always talking about us feeling safe? Because every single thing that doesn't feel good is centered around feeling unsafe. And if we're going to be cute and go there, because I have the clicker and I'm just going to say it, it's from the fear of annihilation, the fear of separation from the oneness that God is, who you are. And when we move out of that alignment, it feels like anything other than peace, which can be traced back to fear. So I'm making a huge, big infinity symbol. I know I'm repeating myself, but that's by design, because we learn best with repetition. Know yourself, trust yourself, and express yourself. Now, what's really cute that I love, on accident, I invented a phrase a couple months ago, and I went ahead and paid for it. Like, it's my statement, I created it, it's down here, neurodivergent, own your mind. Well, what does that mean, Tasha? Well, it hit me in meditation one time, actually, and I was like, I think I'm neurodivergent. I think I'm ADHD. I think I was going all over the place. And I feel like God got a hold of me and was like, listen, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are a new thought leader. You say things that push the limits. You invite people to push the limits of who they are and their thought processes. And in so doing, that pushes them into a place of fear, because what they don't understand and know is that they actually have all the power at their fingertips. You're not afraid of failure. You're afraid of your power. So when you can't just kind of make a mantra of yourself, actually this is my mind and I own it. I get to own everything that comes in and out of this thing. I am open to what might still be in my shadows, but even then I still own my response to what might come up. And so once you know something so solidly, nothing can change your mind because it's yours. You get to change your mind. You get to transcend your ideologies. You get to get yourself to the point where you can even question if death exists. Actually going to do that with 5 minutes to go. I'm going to do that with 5 minutes to go. You get to push yourself to the limit. Because until you know your limits, you will not be able to transcend them. And you'll have to have boundaries. But just breathe and know that you are everything that you pray for. It is yours, you own it, and you are the power. And because that felt really cute, I'm going to stop there. And I think I'm actually going to pray us out. And the way that I pray here, now, is to invite you to sit with me in this right now moment as I reorient myself from following the points that I made for the talk to being. And I'd like to invite you to feel your entire being in this right now moment. See if you can feel your toes and your fingers and your earlobes, your eyebrows and the top of your head all at the same time. And suddenly my body starts to vibrate a little bit. I start to feel the energy that goes through me. And I know that that is God. And I am thankful that God beats my heart. And I am thankful that this breath comes out of my mouth with the truth that you are love embodied. And it is my intention in this right now moment that each person who hears the words that are coming out of my mouth just breathe in the essence of protection and self-love, knowing that you are already safe. That no matter what happens has been brought to you by divine design. And that may your next step, may my next step, may our next step be taken so solidly from the place of knowing that we are actually called to live the life of our dreams. And I love to end any moment that I take to align myself with God. I love to take the moment and end it by saying, Amen. But there are some in the room who like to affirm it out loud with different words. And with them, I would like to proclaim that it is done. And so be it.
And so it is.
And so it is. There we go. Thank you so much. Yes, this is me, my information. I got to get back onto the track. Here I am. Now we're going to slide over into our conscious giving. And just like we did our vision, mission, and values, we do this. And we just proclaim it out loud. We align and remember that we are aligning ourselves with abundance, not just saying it. We're not just seeing abundance and dancing around it. We are actually abundance. So as you feel yourself breathing, and if you would like to join us, to use that same breath and your muscles in your body to make sound come out, I'd like to invite you to join us to be this right now. And say it with me. I
Live in abundance. I am filled with abundance. I give from abundance, and it transforms my life.
Thank you so much. Do we have a giving song?
We do have a giving song. We have a giving song. Thank you, my dear.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
This is a given song. And it's another drum song. So get your drums and drum along with us. Because the song, no, I don't know. That's the last song. That's what that is. Yeah, it's too long. All right, so Reverend Dr. Sue Ellen, you look like you're ready. You want to kick us off with a beat? Yep, there you go. Thank you.
Sorry.
No unnecessary is needed, Reverend Dr. Sue Ellen, to give your blessings and your love. Thank you for this.
Unnecessary.
Here we go.
Ow.
I don't think that's how you should.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful life. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful life. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful life. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful life. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. The best day, the best day, the best day ever. The best day, the best day, the best day ever.
That's right, the best day ever. We're gonna get these drums. I'll tell you what, I'll figure out a drum here in a moment. All right, so we got a couple of announcements. First of all, we are still doing making peace with your inner shit talker. Rev KC's 90-day program. I hear it's amazing. Transformative. Sundays at 8 p.m. in the conference room here at Project 3810. We also have Rev KC's podcast Thursdays at noon, live streamed on Facebook and on YouTube with she and her cousin Be Lovely. And we have Friday night Qigong every single Friday, free here at the center, 8310 North Tulsa Avenue. Qigong is a gentle movement practice rooted in ancient Chinese medicine. So as you are seeking to keep yourself aligned, we get to move our body to kind of help break up some of those trapped emotions and energy centers. Qigong is fantastic. It's a moving meditation fluid. It's sublime. So there's that, and then boom, we are so gearing up and super excited for the installation ceremony of Rev KC and our 70-year anniversary of the center, United Life Center for Spiritual Living. The theme is Transformers, Care Bears in Disguise. It's so much. I love it. I got to see the magnets, and the theme is on point. So that's Saturday, May 31st, 2025, right here from 3 to 5. I am accepting donations for the congregational gift. We can do cash, check, Venmo, Cash App, whatever you want to do to contribute to the gift for Rev KC that we will be delivering or presenting to them on that date. And then afterward, we're going to party with the purpose. Will you come up one more time and
Yeah.
share
For sure. So, Thick Descriptions, I just like, because this is how I roll today. Thick Descriptions is a nonprofit in this building that is dedicated to providing educational resources for underserved youth in Oklahoma City. So 100% of the sales, the people in the organization are the ones that are buying the meat and cooking it. So as much as being sold, we want to sell them out so that we are supporting their organization and y'all can get some goodies from them. And also they are selling tickets for the brewery. So any purchases that you make through the brewery, all of those proceeds go to supporting the descriptions and supporting underserved kids in our community.
Amazing, thank you so much. Yes, I knew I couldn't do it that well, and especially about the brewery ticket, I didn't want to butcher it. So thank you for that. That's the same day, after 3 p.m. So the ceremony is 3 to 5. After the ceremony is when we're going to party hard with our barbecue. And this is our closing song. So we're gonna, close it, and then have the best week ever.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
There, that's what we're gonna do.
That's
So
what's
Casey's
gonna
gonna
happen.
sit us out, Casey and Nina, and then we're gonna close it up.
Yeah, and this is again, like I said, we doing it with the drums. Nina put out lyrics for us because she's a goddess. We have all kinds of goddesses in this community. Shout out to Reverend Dr. Sue Ellen, who will be serving as our goddess of ceremonies at the May 31st celebration. And speaking of Reverend Dr. Sue Ellen, I was thinking this morning about this experience of Mother's Day. I did a whole tribute online to my mom, and I never do that because she's not on Facebook. And I love that she isn't. She's like, she's never Goodreads. If you want to find her, you write a review about a book, she will follow you, and y'all will be like reading friends, and that's her line. So I did a little tribute to my mom, but I was thinking about the women in this center that have served as foster mothers to me in this community. That I came in, my mom's not here today, but Nina, not only does she sing with me, Nina prays with me, and since I've stepped into this position as senior minister, Nina has been there. I'm like text her at 12 at midnight, be like, what is this, Saturday at 7 p.m.? And I love that neither one of us feels a certain kind of way about the texts come when they come. We do what we do. We don't do what we don't do. It all works out. And Reverend Dr. Sue Ellen, when I saw her in this, I was like, this thing is so cute. And she was took it off of her body. And so I had to wear it today. And Reverend Suze Ogden, who's doing our music on May 31st, was there when I met Elle. I was trying to avoid Elle because I had just left a 10-year marriage. And I was like, I don't need to be looking over on that side of the room. And Reverend Sue Ellen was like, oh, yes, you do. Come on, turn up. Here we go. So, I just felt so mothered by the elder women in this community. Mary Lee, when I, literally a couple weeks ago, I was going through some stuff, and I was like, Mary Lee, I want to come over. Let's do a ritual together. Let's pray. She was like, bet. I'll text you when I get home. And so I'm just so grateful to feel so mothered by this community and to be releasing all that has come from this spiritual experience with you all together. So let's get those drums together, and those drums drumming, 12 drummers drumming, and release some stuff together. There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the strength of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. Let it go just like that. Let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. I am only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only
and or Science of Mind magazine to learn more about this time that we're having here. And with that, we get to say,
Have the
best
best
week
week
ever.
ever!
Hold on. Woo!
Day of the week ever.
I know when you push the finish
No, we're
button.
just going to see the whole, like,
I could have. I didn't know.